Hi guys, I know it's been a while I posted anything. It's been a crazy hectic week, but I'm back to regular posting on my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my reading update and what I'm currently reading as well. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a thing. You can also like this video so that it is referred to other viewers as well. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing some of the books that I've been reading this past, I think, a couple of weeks, right? Because I've not posted anything maybe in the last week or so. So I wanted to just give you guys an update on what I'm doing, what I've been able to do in terms of trying to reach my goals for 2020. Like, oh my goodness, 2020 is almost over. I literally, at this point, I'm here. I'm like, can we just move on and never speak of this year? Like, that's literally how I am. Physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm just like here. Anyway, so far I'm thankful for you guys, so my new subscribers who have joined me, for the ones I bullied into subscribing, and for those of you who were gracious enough to subscribe, thank you so much. We're almost at 1,000, and if you're yet to subscribe, better make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that I can get to my 2020 goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. I started this channel ending of February, so it's been like 10 months and it's been an amazing 10 months journey. I've learned so much and I've been able to connect with so many amazing booktubers as well, and I just want to say thank you guys to those of you who continuously share my posts on social media, who repost, who retweet, who like, who comment, who always give feedbacks, comment on my videos and comment on social media posts. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. I literally could not have been here without your love, your support, your encouragement that just continues to drive me to keep going every single day, no matter how hectic and no matter how many times I want to just be like, bleh, let me just give up. So thank you so much. Okay, so moving on to the business of the day, I'm going to be sharing some of the books that I've read this past couple of weeks. My lovely sister, well, she's like, I met her as a friend, but she became a sister. She got married this past weekend. Well, okay, as I'm recording this, I guess it's like 2 Saturdays ago, and she got married, and it was just so amazing. And of course, there was a lot of activities that had to be done, being her chief bridesmaid, you know, so I didn't really have time to record, trying to shuffle between states and then coming back to work. So, but I've also been reading though, and then I tried something new for the first time. Not really for the first time, but I tried this Books app, which I'm going to do a separate video on. I don't know if you guys read books off it, but it's basically soft copy books, and I think you pay like a certain amount each month so that you can get unlimited access to books. So I tried that so that I could read short stories, and it was really lovely. I was able to read 4 short stories in a week, and you guys are going to see that more about that in another video that I'm going to do separately. But just to give you a rundown of some of the books that I've read so far and what I'm currently reading, I read The Spider King's Daughter. It's by Chibundu Onuzu, and I think this book was written in 2012. I think I read it like a couple of weeks ago. I enjoyed it for the fact that the font is like really big, and I was able to race through the book so fast. I think I read this book in like 2 days or 2.5 days. I mean, if you compile all the hours together, it was probably read in like a day. So I like the plot of this book, right? This book is about a 17-year-old girl who is like a really rich girl. She lives in a mansion in the upper side of Lagos, and then she meets this hawker, someone who hawks like ice cream on the road. They're almost around the same age, and I don't know whether I wouldn't even call it fall in love. She sort of develops this liking and this intrigue towards him, and she wants to make him her friend, and he also starts to like her as well. But along the line, so many things are revealed, and there's just like a somewhat attempt at some nice plot twist thingy or whatnot. But the fact that she's rich, he's poor, there's some sort of forbidden love trope, but you get to see more about him and understand why he's so educated and so, you know, put together, because that's not really how his life has always been, you know. But then at the end of the day, like, their paths cross in a way that reveals a lot of secrets about who her dad is and how her dad has had like a hand in maybe his own life or whatnot that has changed his life for the worse. There's just so much that is revealed. So yes, for a debut novel, I would definitely say that, I mean, it's a lovely first attempt. I had reservations with how the writing style was arranged. As much as the writing style was really easy to understand, the way the book was written, like you trying to figure out who is Abike and who is I've forgotten the name of the hawker, I can't remember at this point, but trying to figure out who Abike is, because everything is written in first person narrative, and then I think there's some parts that are written in third person narrative. Honestly, the arrangement of the writing of this book left much to be desired, and I will pardon it because it's a 2012 book and it was her first novel. So I mean, I guess there's a lot to learn from it, but I did enjoy the forbidden love trope. At some point in my life, I used to live for this kind of things: rich girl, poor boy, rich girl, like, oh, you can never fall in love, blah blah blah, and then they always end up falling in love, that kind of situation. So maybe if I had read this 8 years ago, I would have been giggling and whatnot. But I thought that it was okay. The end seemed a little bit rushed to me, like there was a lot of things that were trying to be put in, you know, the end sequence at some point in time, and I was like, well, I guess maybe the book would have been longer if it was spread out. But all in all, I think it was a lovely first attempt. And Sheol actually recommended this book to me. I was like, oh, you will love it, you will love it, you will love it. And I really just appreciate the fact that it was an easy to read book. Like, this is the kind of book that you read it and you'll be like, oh yeah, you know what, it's a nice one. Well, I don't know, because maybe some people actually really love it, but that's just my own thought on it. Next up is one that I'm really excited that I read. I just finished reading it a couple of days ago. It's First Fruits by Asadu Ibobo, right? She's an Igbo woman from Odepe town. She's an avid reader and a passionate learner and a creative. So this is a poetry collection written by a Nigerian writer, and I must say that I don't really read a lot of poetry. Like, I cannot remember the last time I read poetry. I think that was probably in my senior secondary school, and it was a requirement for an exam. That's how much I don't, not necessarily because of anything. Like, I appreciate spoken word. Like, I can go for spoken word events and appreciate things like that. But in terms of reading poetry and consciously buying poetry collections, I would say that I rarely do that. But this one, when she reached out to me, there was just something about, like, you know, I went and I checked up on it and I saw what it was about. I'm like, look, okay, no problem, send it to me. And she graciously sent me 2 copies of this book, and I was impressed. Like, you guys, I am mad impressed. Like, this is one of these type of collections that I would just, oh yeah, as I'm recording this, I haven't even told her my feedback on the book, so she'll probably see this before I send, or maybe I'll do it at the same time. I'll send her my personal feedback and then she'll probably watch the video. But yeah, I was mad impressed. I was telling somebody the other day that poetry is, why it's so different from fiction and prose rather, is because poets sort of write for themselves. They express things from the way it comes from their mind. And the thing about poetry is that for you to be a good poet, you have to be able to write in a way that people can enter your mind to sort of decipher what you mean by your poems. And 3 people can read one poem and give you 3 different meanings from the poem. So that's how amazing and versatile it is. It's, I mean, interpret it as you wish, and most often times than not, the poet is not there beside you while you're reading to tell you, oh, this is what I meant, or this was the inspiration behind the poem. So it was a refreshing experience for me to be able to just read this poetry collection and just enjoy it as well. I totally did. I liked Ask Me Nonsense. I like, which I posted on my social media. I liked For Women Who Wear Their Hair at Will. I liked If Your Penis Causes You to Sin, Cut It Off, which explored sexual harassment and rape. I liked Mama Still Breathes. I liked With My Hands on My Head. So I actually enjoyed quite a lot of these poems. I could relate to some of them. I feel like they went over my head because I did not have that connection with what they may have been speaking about, but I loved most of the poems in them. They explore themes like motherhood, identity, rape, sexual harassment, death, love, family, and a whole bunch of other things, you know, that as human beings we can relate to. So yeah, it was a lovely experience for me because this is the first time in a long while that I'm reading poetry. And you know what, my mind is actually open to reading more poetry. I found that it's really not, you can't even rush it. Like when I saw how small this book was, right, but it actually has like 80 something poems, and when I saw it I was like, okay, I'm probably going to finish it in a day. But the thing about it was that I found that you have to be so connected to what you're reading. Like, you can't just be distracted 1 minute, picking up the book the next minute. It's not like a continuous story. It's like a collection of poems, and my reading experience of it was very interesting for me. I'm open to actually reading more poetry collections to see how I can connect to some of these poems. You know, if you know any lovely poetry collections, please let me know in the comments so that I can, you know, explore and see what I can get from that type of literature. So I really did enjoy this. Thank you so much for sending it to me, Asadu. So if I was going to score it over 5, I think my rating for this would definitely be a 4.5. So if you're into this kind of thing, then this is a good one for you, by a Nigerian woman who explores a lot of lovely themes in the book. On to what I'm currently reading. I'm just going to go through these ones very briefly. I'm reading Brimstones and Rainbows. It's Memoirs of a Child Bride. It's by, I think I shared more on the synopsis of this book on a book haul that I did, because this book was sent to me, and this book basically explores like the journey of a child bride, Ruby, who suffers from obstetric fistula. And this made me go and do some research on obstetric fistula. That's basically like damage to the womb, which results from a complication in childbirth, especially with very young mothers who maybe there's like a tear in the womb, and what happens is like they're not able to hold in their urine or their feces, and basically everything just comes out. So, and it's something that has really ravaged Nigeria, especially in the north, with a whole lot of child brides, and that had led to so many hashtags, you know, people talking about child not bride, like don't make a 14-year-old a bride. And it's something that is very important to our society. So I actually was just going to do like a book review or a book summary in this video, but I'm just going to do a separate book review because doing some research on it really opened my eyes to certain things that occur in the country. You know, you just have an idea of what it means to be a child bride, but then you don't really know in detail, or you can't really explain the complications that arise, especially from childbirth, when these innocent young girls are made to get married to really old men and have children. So this is a book that I'm looking forward to finishing, and you guys will see my thoughts on it. Also, you guys know that I finished reading Chigozie Obiama's The Fisherman, so I picked up An Orchestra of Minorities over the weekend. I could not wait to get into this book because, oh my goodness, I love The Fisherman, especially the writing style of that book. If you guys are yet to see my review on it, you can go and check it out. I will leave a link up here or in the description box, anyone you want, just go and check it out. This guy knows his stuff. So I've started this book, I think I'm like on page 50 something, and oh my goodness, I'm reading it at the same time with this Brimstone and Rainbows. And yeah, it's something that I recently started, being able to read 2 books at the same time. But man, I am impressed. Like, what? And everybody keeps on saying brace yourself, it's a sad book, like you're going to get depressed, this one, that one, you're going to be sad. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you guys, please have pity on me. Like, I don't know, but I'm just so excited because I'm already loving the way the book is written. Like, I love the perspective from which the story is being told. It is such a unique perspective. Like, wow. Anyway, if you've read it, let me know how good it was for you. Please, no spoilers. There are no spoilers on this channel. So if you've read it, let me know how good it was for you. If you've also read Brimstones and Rainbows, let me know how good it was for you. You can also share with me in the comments what you're currently reading. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. That's what I'm currently reading. I will tell you, obviously, I will give you my feedback on Chigozie Obiama's An Orchestra of Minorities and Ololade Akintoye's Brimstone and Rainbows. So look out for those 2 individual book reviews, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.